to Crucible Crush Dice Club. Today we are doing a play test, a quick video to show how our game's played for our new Colonial rules. This is nothing official, but it's called the Colonial Crucible, and you should have an idea after watching this video of how the game works. We have two different sides today. We have Pathans at this end. They are considered tribal infantry, and they are in groups of 15. We have 15-man units. There's also a leader figure, and the leader has companions, has comrades that are with him that act as extra hits. They can help in fighting combats. On the other side we have a small British force, two 10-man platoons, and a leader. The Imperial forces are done with 10-man units. We will start the game with the initiative sequence. Initiative. The game starts with initiative. The Pathans will have initiative for this game, and they must roll on the activation roll on the activation chart. I rolled an 8 for them, which means pick one unit and CV roll for each companion and leader, as you can see. So one unit is automatically activated and it has one action. In games, in the game, each unit can perform actions each time it is activated. It also says roll for up to 2 companions and the leader. There's no companions in this game, there's only the leader. So I will roll to activate the leader. The leader has a CV of 6, so he needs a 6 or less to activate. I rolled a 9. He does not activate. So that means one unit can do one action. The Pathan player will choose. They roll. Their movement is rolled, and you can see here that irregular or untrained unit running rolls 2d10 and takes the highest die. So I will roll 2d10 for them, and I got 13 inches. They will move this unit at the front here. I think they'll move the unit over into the terrain because they have more cover there. So I'll use my tape measure. They'll measure 13 inches. Terrain can be considered difficult terrain, and they can move, that can cost half speed. I don't think this is considered difficult terrain, so 13 inches will get them over the terrain piece. Difficult terrain is a half movement infraction if you have it to move through. So I've moved the unit, which would just mean that if there's 6 inches of terrain, it would cost me 12 inches to move through. So that's the first activation by the Pathan side, which means the British players can react. I've put some figures in behind. There's a gun there. We're not using them for this game, only the figures out in front. The two companies, the two platoons out in front are the only figures we're using for this game. This is going to be the setup for my Penny Pal campaign, which if you've been following us on Lead Adventures forum, you know that Esmeralda Bottomley, who you can see there in the middle beside the artillery piece, has been running an expedition, and the Penny Pal scenario is the next area we're going to play in. I'm going to use this terrain setup. But anyway, for this game, for this video, we're just using these 2 units out front. The other ones are just for show. So as you can see, basically the British units both have, one has a lieutenant and the other has a sergeant, which are considered a companion and a veteran warrior. They have a CV of 5. The leader, who's would be a captain in this case, on the horse would have a CV of 6 to activate. Leaders and officers have a number of actions they can perform. The Pathan leader did not activate. He was not able to provide some orders. So we'll see if the British units can activate. So I'll roll. This first unit here has a sergeant, so he needs a 5 to activate. He rolled a 1, he activates. This is called a reaction. So we're rolling to react to seeing these Pathans move up through the terrain feature. This is a sergeant, this is the lieutenant, he needs a 5 to activate, he rolled a 2, he also activated. And the British leader needs a 6 or less as a reaction to activate, so he will roll. He rolled a 9, so he did not react to seeing that Pathan unit advance. So now I will move. The sergeant can provide 2 orders, and the lieutenant can provide 2 orders. The overall leader, the officer, could provide 3 orders, but he didn't activate. So we can see that a regular unit running goes 8 inches, a regular unit walking goes 4 inches. So they can run or walk. They will decide to, or they could possibly shoot. We can see here that a rifle fires short range is 6 inches, medium range is 30 inches, long range is 40 inches. The Pathans have Giselles, they fire 4 inches short range, 20 medium, and 30 long. So definitely within range for these guys. So the first unit, this yellow unit here, who rolled a 1, only have 1 action because they have a sergeant leading them. So they will fire at the unit advancing out of the hill. They are in close order because their bases are all touching. 2 ranks can fire in close order, so all 10 guys can fire. There is 9 guys with rifles and a sergeant with a rifle. The sergeant will be the 10th guy. He has a different to hit number. The basic to hit number for a soldier is 4. The hit number for a sergeant is 5, or a lieutenant is 5, and the officer would actually be a 6. This first platoon has 10 guys firing, and we need to look at the modifiers to see what modifiers, shooting modifiers apply. So target is an easy target in close order. They actually are charging in close order, so that's +1. The target is at short range. No, they're not under 10 inches. The shooter is in close order is a +1, so now they're at +2, and the target is cavalry is no. The shooter is reacting without being in ambush is a -1 because this is a reaction because it is actually the Pathan's move. The Pathan's the active player. It's not long range, and there's no other modifiers there, so we're +2 -1, so we get a +1 on the die roll. So we're looking for 5s and 6s on the white die for the sergeant. So 5s and 6s. That was a 4, 5, and 1s. Now the important thing to note when shooting, 1s are important. 1s count as double hits and also cause a figure to fall down. 4s and 5s would be hits. So this, and the other thing to note is the number of 10s that you roll. This is not the case. If more 10s are rolled than hits, then you have a out of ammo situation, but that's not happening here. So only 3 missed. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 because they rolled 2 1s. So they had 9 hits on that Pathan unit, and 2 guys fall down. So if you have to roll randomly to see which guys fall down, so we can do that. Number 9 and number 7 fall down. We'll take care of that. You also need to roll to determine what the damage is on the shooting damage chart. So the shooting damage chart is here. They're considered in open terrain, where a 1, 2, or 3 will be no effect, a 4 will be a dodge back, a 5 or 6, 7 will be suppressed, 8 will be wounded, 9 and 10 will be killed. So we'll roll on that chart. There, as I said, there was 9 hits, so I'm going to roll 9 dice. There was 9 hits, so I'm going to roll 9 dice on this Pathan unit to see what happens. 1, 2s, and 3s are no effect. So there's 3 3s and 2 2s there. That's going to be it. So basically that means 5 hits had no effect. So the rest of our dice are a 7, a 5, a 10, and a 9. So according to this on the chart, on the chart, a 5 and a 7 is suppressed, and a 9 and a 10 is killed. So 2 figures come off. We can roll randomly to see which figures they are. Number 2 and number 6 would be this guy. 7 and 9 fell over. That's these 2 guys back here. 2 of them fell over. These 2 guys are dead. They'll come off the table. And 2 suppression. Okay, I'm going to mark 2 points of suppression on this first Pathan unit. I use a D6 for this because the first break is 6 points. If you get to 6 points of suppression, it's a morale test. So we just leave that on there. These 2 guys fell down, so they have to stand up. And 2 dead we took off. That's it. So that's the first firing done for that unit. So this unit over on the right hand side in front of me is active. The leader is not. He cannot do anything this turn. He is reacting to the Pathans. He has 2 actions. So because he's a lieutenant, he can give 2 orders. So he will give 1 order, move, and then the second order they will shoot. He's going to walk forward. You cannot run and shoot. So he will walk forward and then perform a shooting. A walk on the chart is a 4-inch move, so they will walk 4 inches forward for a Imperial unit. It's 4 inches. There's an interesting rule with pistols. Pistols don't fire very far, but you have the choice. You can automatically do a hit, or you can roll 2 to hit rolls with them. So it's an interesting little twist with the pistol. The lieutenants all have a pistol. So they will now fire. They're going to fire. They can fire up to 180 degrees. They can fire over here. There's a less than 17-inch range, so it's going to be medium range. We'll go through the modifiers again to see what they have for shooting. So target is an easy target. Yes, +1. Target is at short range. No. Shooter is in close order. Yes, the shooter is in close order. That's +2. Target is cavalry. No. And then the next one will be shooter is reacting without being in ambush. That will be a -1. So again, we're +2, -1. Oh, shooter also moving is another -1. So they're going to have 0 as their final modifiers. The pistol has a range of 10 inches. So he's not within range of the pistol. So he only gets 9 rifles. One of them will be a sergeant. So we will count 1 off-color die with the sergeant, so that's it. And then it'll be 8 regular soldiers, and the sergeant will make the 9th one. So they roll 9 dice all together. And we use the yellow dice to represent the sergeant. He's 5. Everybody else is looking for 4s. There's my roll, and there's 2 9s. Oof. There's a 9. These guys didn't shoot quite as well as the first unit did. So I've got 2 2s and 2 3s, so 4 hits total. So the Pathan player will now roll to see the effects of that. So this Pathan unit on the hill has 4 hits on it, so which means they will need to roll 4 dice. This Pathan unit on the hill has 4 hits on it, so that means they will have to roll 4 dice. I'm rolling 4 dice on the target is in open. So we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10s, 8's a wound, 9, 10 in suppression. We'll roll the dice. He rolled a 1, a 7, and 2 9s. So the 1 is no effect, as we saw on the chart. So that will just come away. The 7 is a suppression. And the 2 9s are 2 more dead guys. We'll roll randomly to see who got killed. I got a 7 and a 5. And the second guy will be a 6. So number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And number 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The guy at the back here. Alright, that unit's taken a lot of damage. It's got another suppression. One suppression is higher than the number of soldiers left in the unit. They also have to test morale. This is not the case yet. Alright, so now we are doing the second action because the Pathans are the active player. They get their second action for the turn. In the second action, the second action is the last action as an active player. Native units can always move forward whether they were activated or not. They can always move, do a move, and Imperial troops can always fire if they want to fire. So the Pathan player will decide that he wants everybody to move forward. So we'll start with this unit at the back here in the front and rolling 2d10 to see how far they can move. He gets 9 inches, so they will move him 9 inches forward. So I get out my ruler, measure 9 inches. They can go 9 inches forward. This is going to be pretty bloody in the British player's turn. 9 inches. The second unit at the back here is going to roll for active to see how far they can move. They got 7 inches. So they will move 7 inches forward. Now they're considered a mob. Tribal units can be in either open order or close order. In this instance, we've gone all close order. I should probably have one open order so we can see the rules. The leader can move. He's going to run forward. He goes 17 inches, which he might not want to go all that 17 inches. So he's going to go take up a position up here behind cover. The leader has a 12-inch command radius. So at this point in time, just about everybody is in command radius. You could probably put him on the edge, and for legality there, he's within 12 inches of everybody. They don't have to be 12 inches. You can roll actually a bad leader or a good leader, and you could have a 6-inch command radius or an 18-inch command radius as well, but that's all part of the creating a column section of the game. Also, individual characters, sergeants, lieutenants, leaders, all have special skills and abilities, and that is determined before the game starts as well. We're not using any today because I'm just teaching the rules, the basic rules. So that is the Pathan second activation, so they are done. You can see the force here with the British force. They need to roll an activation roll to see who activates. They roll a 3 on the activation table, and everybody's at standard at this point because they haven't had any bad things happen. As you can see, a 3 on the standard table is all companions and leaders at this point. So the leader is the captain, of course. There is a companion lieutenant here. So the leader and the companion. The sergeant is a veteran warrior in charge of the second, or that would be the first platoon, and he would not be activated on this activation. However, he could still fire in the second as the second action of his activation. So the first unit, the other option is that the lieutenant can order both if they're within 6 inches. I don't think he's within 6 inches, so he can't give another order there. However, the leader is active, and he has to be within 12 inches of a unit, and he's within 12 inches of both, so he has 3 orders he can give out. So he could actually use his orders to move the first platoon over there with the sergeant in charge who has no orders to use this turn. So they have a total of 5 orders basically. So once again, this First unit is going to move forward 4 inches is their first action, and then they will fire at the Pathan player. So I've moved them forward. Okay, once I've moved them forward at a walk for 4 inches, they now have to measure the range. They can do their second action from the lieutenant, and that is going to be shooting. If they were within 10 inches, they are not. They're over, it's just over a foot there. So they're still at medium range. We look on the shooting modifiers chart to see. So target is an easy target in close order. Yes, it is. Target is at short range. No. Shooters in close order. Yes, that's true. That's +2. The shooter is moving, that's -1. This is not a reaction, so this is their regular activation now, so they don't lose that other -1 that they took last time. It's not long range, and there's no other modifiers there that affect them, so they are actually +1. Now, the Pathans have an opportunity that they may actually go prone if they want to from the fire. Any native unit can do this. You have a fieldcraft rating, which we've used from Rugged Adventures and also Charlie Company. That each unit is given a fieldcraft rating, which would be in a sheet write-up, which we provide in the rule book. I'm going to give him a random number. His fieldcraft will be 5. So if he rolls a 5 or less, he can go prone before the shot. He rolled a 9. He is not able to go prone. They can take that at any time. It costs 2 inches of movement to get up from prone. All right, so the British unit is going to fire. So we'll roll some dice and do some firing again. They're not within range of the pistol yet, so there's 8 guys plus the sergeant. So we'll get 8 dice. We figured out that they're +1 already. So we're looking for a 6 for the sergeant and 5 for the regular guys. So the positive ones that hit are 2 1s and a 5. The rest were all misses. So that each one, remember, counts as 2 hits. And so that's 4, and then 1 for the 5 is a 5th hit. So they took 5 hits and 2 guys are going to fall down. So the Pathans will roll 5 dice to see the effects of the fire on them. Ooh, lots of 9s and 10s. 3 9s and a 10 is all dead, 3 deads, and a 6 is a suppression. So our suppression rules come from Rugged Adventures again. A lot of suppression happens in those set of rules, and that's based on Charlie Company as well. So the suppression is 1 point of suppression on there. So we put the suppression on them. Again, as I said, the 6 points of suppression they would check. They also have 4 kills. I have to roll randomly to see who they are. The first one is number 12. 5, 10, 11, 12. Somebody here. The second one is 13, and number 3, and the last one is number 4. So we did 4 kills on that unit. Where the captain has 3 orders, the officer, he can give 3 orders. He could divide them up any way he wants between these 2 units. They're still within 12. He could also move himself. So with 1 order, he's going to move himself, and he will just be walking forward, I think, 4 inches, a trot, cavalry, but he has people with him. Now the people that are with him are considered the aide-de-camps, any runners, the sergeant major for the unit, those kind of things that are with him as his bodyguards. There could also just be runners. It could also be just bodyguards with him. A cavalry trotting is 2d10, take the highest dice. So we can roll that, but he's not going to move more than 4 inches because I rolled 10 inches, or sorry, I rolled 9 inches because I take the highest die roll. This is a 9 and a 1. So the 9 will be the movement of him, but he can only go 4 because he doesn't want to outpace his, and we don't really want to move him that far forward anyway. He doesn't want to outpace his walking guys with him, so we move him forward. I don't think I always want to stand right behind the horse. All right, so that's his first order of his turn. So he's got 2 orders left. He's going to give order to the first platoon here to move 4 inches forward. They're probably the second platoon, not the first platoon, because they only got the sergeant in charge. So we move them 4 inches forward at a walk, and they were going to shoot again at the Pathan unit out front. Now that Pathan unit can try to go to prone. He can go to prone. We'll give him, well, we'll use that 5 number again. So if he rolls less than a 5, he can go prone. He rolls a 10, he cannot go prone. Good try. The range for this unit to hit the Pathan unit again is 13, so he's not close to short range yet. The pistol, or does not have a pistol, so he's got 9 guys with rifles and the sergeant. And then we'll go through the modifiers again. Target is an easy target, yes, +1. Not short range, shooter is in close order, that's +1. Shooter is moving is -1. And long range, no, there's no other modifier. So it's a +1. So we're looking for 5s and 6s, 6 for the sergeant. We roll the dice, and 7s and 9s and 8s and 9s and a 10. And 8, and they did 3 hits. No, 2 hits. 6 is not a hit. They did 2 hits to them, so the Pathans will get to roll to see what happens with the 2 hits. On the chart, they rolled an 8 and a 4, so they're in open. That's a wound and a dodge back. Now a dodge back is an interesting one. So we need to roll to see who got the dodge back, number 6, and who got the wound, number 14. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, dodge back. He's already down, and 14 is the guy with the flag. He's wounded. Wound markers can be good. The figure can be taken off and a wound marker placed on, whatever it is that you want to use. No suppression that time. A fall down guy got the dodge back as well. So he just remains fallen down, dodge back. He can take multiple hits, but it doesn't affect him in any way other than the original. Fall down is worse than a dodge back. They're both the same actually. Just got to in different ways. All right, so that's the first action by the British. Now, the Pathans will get to react to this. So the Pathans are going to roll a d10 for each unit. This unit has a veteran warrior in charge. He needs a 5 or less. He activates. This unit has the same. He doesn't activate, and this unit didn't activate either. So there's my die rolls. The leader gets to activate as well. He needs a 6 or less. He does activate, which gives them 3 orders. This is his reaction. As you can see, the reaction is different. We don't roll on the table for the reaction. We roll less than the CV of each unit involved. The unit at the front needs to recover and get out of there. If guys stand up, that would be their full move. They're going to continue forward to try and charge these guys. The British in front of them, they roll 9 inches. He's a single guy. The wounded guy can go with if there's someone to carry him. So they're going to carry the wounded guy, and these 2 guys will stand up because they both have a fall down result. So their whole move is to stand up. All right, this unit did not activate, this unit did not activate. However, the suppression die goes with him. However, the leader did activate. He has 3 orders. he's going to order the two guys that just stood up to run forward, so they will make a run roll. They're a separate group now because they've been separated from their friends. And they go 4 inches, not very much. But if they get to back within the 2 inches of a friend, which I guess they are now, they can reestablish it as being part of that unit. So that would bring them back to being part of that unit. His second order, these guys within, set these up. So these guys, he will order the front unit to fire at the British across the way. The Pathans haven't done much firing yet. Now, they have actually a unit that has melee weapons as well as rifles. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rifles, or they're not rifles, they're Giselles, and they're within, and I have to check the range. The range to the British unit is 13 inches, 14 inches. So they're not within short range. Short range of a Giselle is 4 inches, medium range is 10 inches, long range is 20. Sorry, that's a matchlock. So they're not within short range, which is 4 inches for a Giselle. They're under 20 inches, so they're at medium range. Long is 30 inches for a Giselle. So they're considered to be within medium range. They will fire. They have 7 guys, and they're all just regular guys. So they need 4s or less. We'll check out the modifiers. The target is an easy target, +1. Not short range. Target is in close. Shooter is in close order. That's +2. The shooter did not move, and it is a reaction, so that's -1. So they're looking for 5s. They rolled a 1, a 3, a 5, and 7, 8s, 9s. So they got 3 hits, but the 1 is a 1. So that'll be a double hit. They got 3 hits, the 1's a double hit. So that will be 2, 3, 4 hits total. So the British player will be rolling 4 dice on the in open chart. They can try to go prone if they want. The player decides that he doesn't want to. And I'm rolling on the shooting damage chart for the British player. He rolled a 1 in the open is no effect. He rolled a 9, which is going to be a dead guy, and a 5 and a 6 is 2 suppression. So I've got mark my suppression on them at 2. And again, we get this from our original Rugged Adventure rules in Charlie Company, which Rugged Adventures is based on. So they have a suppression die of 2. A guy is dead. It's a D10 to see which guy has died. Number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is somebody in the back row here. One guy fell over, so we'll roll again. See who it is. Number 3. So number 3 has fallen over. All right, so that is the second order. We go back to the Pathans. They're reacting to the British first move. The Pathans, the leader is going to move with the second unit. Now Giselles can't fire twice because they are a reload weapon, whereas rifles can fire 2 or 3 times in a turn. He will have that second unit advance 12 inches. I rolled a 0 and a 2. He will go around them. So there's the mob going 12 inches that way. Can you get in there? Like that. They've moved forward 12 inches, and that's the end of the reaction for the Pathan player. Okay, we're ready for the second activation. So the British can choose to activate and fire a unit, but that would be their full movement, because as a second action, any Imperial troop can just shoot. If they do that, that would be the only action. So they have a lieutenant, which has 2 orders, and a captain, which has 3 orders. So he's better off using those 5 orders between the 2 units than just activating one once. He will use his lieutenant, who's got a bunch of stuff coming forward to Adam. He will fire twice with the first unit. Now he's got a guy that's fallen down. He can stand up, but that would be his full action. So he will stand up, so he doesn't get to fire in the first action, but in the second action he would count to be able to fire. So he's got a lieutenant and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. The sergeant hasn't died yet. So it's 6 guys, a sergeant, and a lieutenant. The pistol is within range of 10 inches. No, it's not. So the pistol can't fire. He is looking for 4s. This is his first fire. He did not move. Now, if he wanted to move, fire first and then move, he would have to take the penalty for moving. But he's in target is an easy target in close order is +1. Shooter is in close order is +2. And he's not moving, so he's +2. So we're looking for 6s and a 7 for the sergeant. So rolling the dice. British player gets a 1, a 2, a 2, a 5, a 3, a 5. So we're looking for 5s and 6s? No, we're looking for 6s and 7s. So 6 hits. So 1 die missed. The rest were all hits. There's 1 1 in there, so that's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits on the Pathans, and 1 guy falls over. So we will grab the dice. 7 dice. He's going to roll. At this point he can declare if he wants to go prone, which I think he will try to do. He did not go prone, he needed a 5 or less. 3, 6, 7 hits. This one looks like it's on the edge. Ooh, a 10. So a 10 and a 10 is a couple dead people. 4 is a dodge back. A 9's dead. 3 dead. 2 suppression. So his suppression marker goes to 3. 3 dead. We'll have to roll to see who they are. And 1. So we'll roll the dodge back. Number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is dodged back. So we dodge back, we usually turn around face backwards. 3 guys died. So 1, number 12, number 15. Let's roll 1 die each. 2 and 8. 2 is dead and 8. Now these figures are mostly pulp figures. This is from their BBT series, the Mad Guru. And the British, of course, are the most recently from the Steam Pulp Kickstarter. I've had them up and had them painted. They look really nice, as you can see. So that was the first action. The lieutenant's going to do a second action of firing again. So it's the same. They need 6s and 7s. There's 2, 4, 6, 7 soldiers and a sergeant. 6s and 7s. See what kind of results. We got a 1, 9 and a 10 is no good. They need 6s. So 3 dice missed. So we got a 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. 6 hits on the Pathan unit, who is getting whittled down. They will roll to see what the results are. Six hits and 1 guy falls down. And they're in the open. A 2, that's a good roll. A 2 and a 3 is no effect. A 4 is a dodge back. 5 and a 6 is a suppression. And we got a wound. So 2 more suppression means their suppression is at 5. Getting close. The next suppression point they'll have to check. 2 and a 3 is no effect. So took care of those two. Number 4 is number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 will dodge back, which means we turn him facing away from the enemy. And number 8 is wounded, which is number 8. I rolled again. That's funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is wounded. So he is off the base wounded. So I will probably do some cleaning up here, move these two guys onto those bases, and I can get rid of a base. No problem. And then the wounded guy will be wounded at the back. So that was the 2 actions by the lieutenant in the second platoon. First platoon's got the sergeant, and there's 3 orders from the captain. The captain's going to move himself forward. Now he's trotting as a horse. So he rolled 6 inches, or 4 inches is to take the highest. So he goes 4 inches, but 4 and a 2, which is 4 inches, and those guys are marching 4 inches with him, so he will just move up 4 inches. I'm trying to put the pressure on here. That's his first order. His second order, he is going to fire. He's going to order this platoon to fire at the batons in front of them. They're close to being charged, so he's going to order them to fire at the baton unit in front of them. All rifles, because there's 9 guys with rifles, and a sergeant. The sergeant will be the yellow die. And they're looking for 4s to start. They're close order +1. Oh, the batons are going to try and go prone. They roll a 9. They do not go prone. Now the British are going to fire. They have 10 guys and one's a sergeant. They're looking for 4, +1 for enemy in easy target in close order, +2 for shooter is in close order. They did not move, and that's the only modifier. So we're looking for 6s and 7s on these dice. Ooh, rolled a 10, rolled a couple 10s, a couple 9s. 9. 2 1s. Bunch of 4s. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. So the batons will roll 8 hits. To see how they do. They are in open. Oh, they rolled off a bunch of them. 2 and a 3s. So 3 of them are no effect. The 9's a dead, 10's a dead, 8's a wound, a 4 is a dodge back, and a 6, they get 1 suppression. So we're up to 4. And I have to roll to see who is number 5. Will dodge back. And then 8, 9, and 10. Roll to see who's dead. 1 is dead, and 7 and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are dead. That unit's getting busted up. A little bit of stragglers there. Okay, the unit will use its last order from the captain to fire again. Lots of hits here. Ooh. 3, 4 1s, 5 1s. That's 10 hits. That unit just got in trouble. 3 misses and a 2 and a 4. So 5 1s is 10 hits, and 2 more with a 2 and a 4 is 12 hits and 3 misses. Okay, the baton player will roll 12 dice. They did. And now we'll look at the effects. 1, 2, or 3 is a miss. Not very many of those. Two of them are rolled off with a 2 and a 3. We have 10s, more 10s than 3 dead guys. 9s are dead too. There's no 9s. 8 is a wound. 7 is suppression. 5, 6, 7s are all suppression. They got 5 suppression. Oh, that's a 6 too. 6 suppression, a wound, and 3 dead. So their suppression goes from 4 to 10. So they're going to have to make a morale check. They might even be gone because 3 guys are dead. 1, 2, 3. We'll roll those. Number 8, number 9, and number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8, 9, 10 are the guys at the back. 1 was wounded already anyway. They got a wounded guy. Number 6. Number 6 is already gone. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys left. So one of the other guys soaked up to 6. So one guy got hit with a wound and a dead, which is possible. So they have only 5 guys left now. And their suppression number is 10, so they automatically fail and retreat. They will run away. 2d10, take the highest. They rolled 5 inches of running, so they will run away 5 inches. They take their 10 suppression with them, and they've moved away. They can be rallied. That is an action that a leader can take to rally, and a rally will take off the suppression as well. So those guys have not necessarily gone home. They may actually see more fighting. But that is the end of the first turn. We've had 2 moves by the Pathans with a reaction by the British, then 2 moves by the British with a reaction by the Pathans, and that is a complete turn. 1 turn finished, and we've had quite a bit going on. These troops started really close together. They started within range, which is what I wanted, because I wanted to show you how the game worked, and that is what our goal here today was, so that you could see how the game worked and see some of the charts. Just want to invite you anytime to come down. So you've seen 1 turn completed. The Pathans moved first. They had an action. The British reacted to it. The Pathans got their second action, which in some cases was just a free move. Then British became the active player. They rolled their activation. They did a move, or they did an action. Then the Pathans did a reaction, and then the British got their second action. That is a complete full turn of the game. I wanted to get into things quick. You got to see shooting. You didn't get to see any close combat. You got to see how our activation works, how our movement works, but all those things together, and you've got the basics for the game. We'll continue with more videos as we go through learning about the Colonial Crucible, colonial rules in the age of the rifle, which we're working towards setting up a Kickstarter for. We invite you anytime to come down to the Crucible Crush Dice Club. Come down, play a game. We got a table set up here. We'll be doing videos weekly. So please come and join us. Contact us online, cruciblecrush.com. cruciblecrush@hotmail.com is our email. We can have you here anytime, set up appointments. We're available during the day. We're also open during the week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for anybody interested in coming down. Thanks, and have a great day.